All right. There you go. He's sticking with the red lines, I guess. Anyway, we're going to bring in my pal Marc Thiessen, Fox News contributor. He's just written a tough Trump risks snatching defeat from the jaws of victory in Iran. Marc, you're making a point, and I like the point, but you don't actually believe that that's going to be the outcome, do you?
I don't think it's going to be the outcome, but it was where we were headed last week. Look, first, let's start at the beginning by saying that I've never seen a president with more courage than Donald Trump in starting this operation.
Yep.
4 American presidents, Democrats and Republicans, said Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Donald Trump's the only one who did anything about it.
Yep.
So kudos to him, regardless of how this happens. But how you end a war is as important as how you begin one. And having the courage to begin it. And last week was not a very good week for us. If you think about this, we announced Project Freedom, and we told the Iranians that if you fired a U.S. ship, we're going to blow you off of the face of the earth. That's a direct quote from the president. And they fired at a U.S. ship. They didn't just fire at a U.S. ship. They fired at the UAE, and we didn't do anything. And then Secretary Rubio went out and said, well, we're done with Operation Epic Fury, which is not necessarily true, although I know he's saying it for Congress. And we're now on Project Freedom. Then the next day we suspended Project Freedom. So if you're an Iranian looking at this, what do you see? You see what you perceive as weakness. You see that you think the president isn't willing to pull the trigger and start the combat again, and he's not willing to punish you militarily for doing it. And also what you think is your ability to hold UAE and Qatar and Saudi Arabia at risk with their oil facilities is not only deterring him from starting the war again, it's deterring him from opening the Strait of Hormuz. And so we have to disabuse them of those notions. Donald Trump holds all the cards, but the Iranians think they hold the cards. And so we need to, if he wants to get a deal, which is a separate question, I'm not actually convinced that a deal is the way to end this thing, but if you want a deal, you have to convince the other side that you have the cards and they don't. And that's going to require some kinetic activity.
Well, I raised a lot of these issues last night, and also in my colloquy with Robert O'Brien this evening also.
Sure.
You're raising very important issues. I think a little softness has somehow crept into the American position. Where it's coming from, I'm not sure. O'Brien, who's a very smart and clever guy, if you don't already know him, he said that basically President Trump is, how shall I say it, showing a certain amount of accommodation, his diplomacy, he's being very generous. I think generosity was one of O'Brien's words. Okay, I think there's probably something to that. And I think that President Trump, devoutly wishes to settle this thing the way it ought to be settled, which is basically unconditional surrender on 3 or 4 or 5 major points. Yep. You and I have talked about that too. Yeah. But anyway, it's not happening that way. So I like the points you're raising, even though both of us are sticking with support for the president and his mission. But let me ask you this, Marc. I mean, I don't understand why we're negotiating in order to negotiate. In other words, I'm confused. From day one, I've been confused. This so-called one sheet of paper, whatever it is, all that's going to do is some kind of generic or general agreement on what will then be discussed in detail at some later date. I mean, to me, that has, I got to tell you, advantage Iran written all over it.
Yeah.
And I don't like that one bit.
You're right.
I don't like it one bit.
No. I agree with you. So here's the extent of the generosity that he should be showing them right now. He's letting them live, the negotiators. The reason they're alive right now, they were taken off the target list, is to negotiate a peace deal. So if they're not willing to negotiate a peace deal, then they don't have to live anymore. And we can start the kinetic activity again. And I think honestly that is where this has to head, because what's the Iranian play here? The Iranian play here is answer this in some way that doesn't start the kinetic operations again, and then have a month-long negotiation over the nuclear deal while we slowly reduce sanctions and other things, and they want to reduce the blockade. It doesn't take a month to write unconditional surrender signed, Iran. That doesn't take a month. That takes about 30 seconds. And so either they're willing to agree to this, or and so here's what I think the president ought to do, Larry. I think that he ought to, next week, he ought to start Project Freedom again. We've got now the Saudis and everybody ready and behind it, and open up the Strait of Hormuz, and then tell the Iranians, if you target the oil facilities of our allies, if you fire a U.S. ship or target the oil facilities of our allies, which is the fear that they have, we are going to destroy your oil facilities at Karg Island, which 96% of your oil goes through. If you hold their oil in danger, we're going to destroy yours. And then what we do is we continue the escort mission, and we give Israel the green light to start up the kinetic operations again. They go after leadership, they go after energy targets, they go after missile launchers, they go after all these things, and we let them finish the job in our targeting, and then we tell the Iranians, uncle, or we're going to overthrow your regime. And the way you overthrow the regime is do what Donald Trump did. What Donald Trump did in Venezuela is he took the Monroe Doctrine and made it his own and turned it into the Donroe Doctrine. Now we got to do the same thing with the Reagan Doctrine. Now we got to get it. We have muscle memory in the CIA of how to arm and train freedom movements. So let's arm and train the freedom movements and let them overthrow the Iranian regime while we keep them weakened with a blockade and destruction of Karg.
I want to see 100, minimum 100 super tankers going through the strait. Boom, boom.
Amen.
And it's got to be very clear. Going to China. What is it, next week, next weekend? Anyway, we, the United States of America, has complete control over the Arabian Peninsula, the Arabian Gulf, including the Strait of Hormuz. Yep. We have complete control. Yep. That's it. No ands or buts about it. Anyway, I have a feeling it's going to work out, Marc Thiessen, but you're raising some very important
I have a
points.
feeling, too, because you and I both know Donald Trump.
Yeah. And he knows him. He knows what he's doing. Anyway, Marc Thiessen, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it very, very much.